Yo, what's going on? I feel like FaceTime right now. Woo! Those wins, man. Those bites are crazy. What's going on, everybody? Happy New Comic Book Day Eve. Miss Marvel Episode 3 Eve. I think there's like a Star Wars thing going on. It's the end tonight, so that should be exciting. But what's going on, man? Welcome to the Newbieverse Tuesday show, co-hosted by none other than, I'm not even gonna keep him out. I'm gonna bring him in right away. None other than Mr. Black Crown. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. You?
Okay. You know, just got my hair dirty. Messed up.
Man. So I'm so happy for you, man. Congratulations on getting a Vespa. I think it's a great thing. Gas is so expensive.
I'm just gonna go to places, and just be like, just with it, and then people be like, "Oh my god, that's crazy! Like, you have a bike?" And I'll be like, "Yeah," and they'd be like, "What kind of bike do you have?" And I'll be like, Chrysler 300. Woo! And like hopefully nobody calls me out on my bullshit. But
you just say a Chrysler 300.
Yeah, woo! And then I'll just take people to like an empty parking lot and be like, "Oh my god, my bike got stolen." If you are anywhere between 30 and 42, you probably realize that is a Dane Cook joke. If you aren't over the age of 30, you probably have no idea who Dane Cook is, and that joke will not hit. But what's going on, man? How are you? It's been a while since you've been on the show. I think it's been like 2.5 weeks.
No, on a Tuesday show, it's been for absolutely ever. Normally, we do New Comic Book Day together, so I'm happy to be here. One thing I do want to point out is that Newbie's helmet still has the fucking manual instructions on the visor.
You're damn right. You're damn right. Because safety first. So I just want to make sure when I get pulled over that the cops know what's going on, right? So I just kind of wanted to leave it like professional. But for those of you that don't know, so I went to a comic show and I saw this. At first I thought it was a Formula One, and I am obsessed with Formula One. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a Formula One guy. And it was Iron Man, and the guy had it for 150. And I went there first thing, and I was like, "Hey, how much? Like, is that the best deal?" And he's like, "Man, listen, for you, $100." And I was like, "All right, no problem." At the end of the show, it was still there. I go, "Listen, man, I got $60 in my pocket. Do you want it?" He goes, "Take it. Brand new Iron Man custom." So I've been wearing this here and there around the house, and I told my wife I wanted to get a motorcycle, and she said, "What?" So yeah, I don't know where that leads me, but I'm thinking about it, man. I'm thinking about it.
I'll be honest, I'm already in that midlife crisis. I am going for my motorcycle license.
Oh geez, there you go. Once you get to motorcycles or like cars or something like that, comics are just kind of
no
out the door. So
comics will always be here.
But you know what? I like the helmet. It's one of a kind, right? You don't see it. Iron Man, it just felt right. So I was like, yeah, screw it. Let's do it. So yeah. So today we're talking about, and I think it's fitting because there's a lot of clickbait going around, and I didn't want to be a part of it, but I realized I put it in the
don't people not okay.
In the title, but there's just a lot of clickbait because of people just throwing around comic recession, right? And I think as much as I like comics and BC, I know you and everyone in the chat does as well, right? Obviously we're here, it's a comic show, it's a comic channel, we're all brought together by comics, but we have to understand it's not necessarily a comic recession. It's just the fact that, well, it's a fucking recession, period. No, not comics, just period, right? So while these books that we're going to be talking about today are falling, there is a lot of books that are falling just simply because, well, gas is expensive, food is expensive, inflation is expensive, minimum wage is just basically nothing, peanuts, and everything seems to be going up on a weekly basis. So people have to choose, right? And you're a family man, so you kind of understand it too, right? Some weeks you kind of have to pick, like, hey, is it my hobby, or am I going to be putting food on the table for my kids and making sure my bills are paid, right? So it's more of like a correction or something like that. But at the same time, like, we kind of have to stop saying it's a comic recession. We're just in a fucking recession, and I think it's only going to get worse for a little bit. But like anything, like any storm, it's going to get worse before it gets better, and eventually we'll be there. But while saying that, BC, we're pretty educated. We're pretty smart dudes. And we know that technically, while everybody is selling, and unfortunately a lot of people are selling, if you are and are able to buy, this is probably the best time to buy because you always want to buy on the dip. Unfortunately, you are buying from people who are trying to sell at a difficult time. But yeah, so I don't know. I was kind of mixed with this show because I do feel for people, but at the same time, the show must go on kind of thing. And yeah, it's just a little crazy. We're probably going to be seeing a lot more keys just kind of fall, and we're kind of going to get into that discussion where maybe in a few months we see a lot of these keys that we thought were keys not necessarily hold up to the value. I think blue chip for sure, but anything else, like, I don't think it's going to sit pretty high. What are your thoughts, man?
I don't disagree. I do think there's a correction as well happening within comics. There he is, guy. But there's, like I said, a correction that's going on at the same time too, right? Like we went through 2.5 years of this pandemic, and like the hobby absolutely took off, and now things are starting to correct itself, get to where some books I think belong.
Yeah.
I took a quick glimpse, and I mean quick, at the list that you've got for tonight. Some of these books did come down, but I think they're actually some, majority of them being where they belong. That's me being honest. But yeah, no, I understand. Inflation does hurt. Yes, it hurts absolutely everybody, guys. For those Canadians, will understand. We'll try to convert for the Americans. But
yeah.
but $60 Canadian. That's what I put in gas today. I got 3/4 tanks. I drive a Jeep. So that did very little for me. It literally, I put $60 and I burned a quarter tank just today. And it hurts, man. It hurts.
Yeah.
At $2.13 a liter. $2.13 a liter.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I've gotten to 3 figures at the pump, and it's just crazy. So yeah, it's just it's crazy because every time I go to the gas station, I'm thinking, shoot, there's like a 9.8, like a nice 9.8, because a new book, right? Like that's just how I think sometimes. I'm like, oh, great, there's that, right? So it is what it is, but unfortunately, that's the way the world works, right? In housing, real estate, all that stuff, and comics are no different, right? So we are going to see a lot of these books, and guys, unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because there are people who, how do I say this? Like do have nice jobs or jobs that weren't affected, or and a lot of people just have are still going to have that income coming, and that's when people kind of the rich get richer mentality comes, right? A lot of people are going to be buying during this time, and it's no knock on that. It's just that's just part of life, right? So again, we're going to be seeing a lot of prices probably fall or correct themselves, but I think we I don't know. I've had a few conversations with people being like, oh, what do you think of the comic recession? I'm like, well, we're kind of just in a recession, like period, right? So but I get like why we're saying it that way and things like that. So we'll see. Hopefully everybody can keep their books and stuff like that. So we'll see. But today's show, yes, we are talking about 10 books that are falling in price. And BC, I've sent you the show. It's not like these books have fallen like completely downhill. It's not like, if you bought one of these books for $1,000, it's not like you just lost $1,000, but you're more or less kind of in that 700 range, right? So a little bit off the top, but at the same time, you're still taking home a little bit of your principal. So it's going to be interesting. A lot of these books too, well, not a lot of them, maybe half of these books are or were spec books as well, right? That people just jumped on early and were like, oh my God, this is going to be big. And then it just kind of came down. So again, just, another situation happening. So let's get it going, man. You ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
All right, man. Dude, I'm always ready. I'm like Lance Stevenson. I was born ready.
I'm pumped.
I'm pumped because episode 3 of Miss Marvel is coming out tonight. So please do not ruin it. I do have a poll there. 21 people so far have answered it. Are you excited for Miss Marvel episode 3? A whopping 52% say yes, and 48% of people are saying no. So it's going to be interesting to see. But remember, guys, it's 6 episodes tonight or tomorrow, tonight, depending if you're on the West Coast, you'll watch it tonight. We'll be at the halfway point, right? So the climax, I think something big is going to happen in this episode. So let's see.
I'm looking for your poll so I can vote. I don't see it anywhere.
Oh, yeah, you got to go on the YouTube. Like, you actually have to go on the YouTube and yeah. All right, gang. Before we start the show, let's go say hello to the chat. And this will probably be the last time we see each other or talk until Sunday show, Toronto show. So if there's any Canadians in here, yes, I will be at that Toronto Comic-Con show. It's supposed to be massive. If you see a Tale Suspense 39, you have to message me right away. That's the way it works, especially because it's my birthday that day. So
no.
Yeah, Sunday's my birthday. So
it's not Sunday.
Yeah, June 26th. Swear to God.
It's not.
I swear to God.
No, what the?
Star Wars or
just happened.
All right, let's say hello to the chat and let's start the show. Mr. Just Cruz. I'll be hanging with him on Sunday as well. Mr. Chauffeur. But Cruz is taking home the gold medal. Canada takes home a gold medal for the first time in like 2 months. So thank God. Michael Baker, what's going on, man? How you doing, brother? Dan Della Torre's in the house.
Yeah.
Uncanny X Dan. Tim, I'll grab a participation medal, probably the tin foil from a disco back smokes. Come on, man. Hey, newbie in chat. Hopefully see you Sunday at the con. Dude, if you are there, let me know. Rush, that's gonna be dope, man. I'd love to put a face on the name, man. Yeah, I'll probably be there like first thing at 10, and I'm probably gonna be dipping out probably around like 2:30. Just because I have family coming from all over. So yeah,
but dude, it's awesome to see that so many people are going to be there. It's your birthday. Unfortunately, I cannot be there. So guys, normally we go with, birthday punches, but when you see him, just give him a nut flick from BC. That's why I asked, just a nut flick.
I'll be wearing my helmet, so that's what I'll be doing. I'll be driving my Chrysler 300, so I gotta wear my helmet. So
Netflix,
Mr. Uncanny Swag, Mr. Brian, Mr. Slow Clap himself. I don't know what that means. Is that you?
I don't know. I'll take it.
All right, yeah, sure. Mr. Comics, you crazy. Hola muchachos, how are you? What's going on, man? How you doing? Miss Marissa Hart, 1/3 of our Island Boys. Which hasn't been said in a while, but what's going on, Marissa? How you doing? Mr. Tim, I hope is going to be there. I'm going from a Honda Civic to a Nissan kind of mood. Oh my gosh. We already said hi to Mr. Forge, 1/3 of the Pressable Defects. I don't even need to introduce. You guys should already know, but make sure you guys go check out the Pressable Defects. They are great guys. Love them. They're Ranger fans. They're Yankee fans, so gotta love them. Brian Big, Turok 1 is holding strong. Wait, Brian. Yeah, shoot. I know Brian. Fuck. I was like, wait a minute. Who's that? Yeah, Brian. Dude, my guy from out west. What's going on, man? All about the what's going on, Swag? How you doing, man? All right. Patrick is in here. Kenneth is in here. What's going on? Oh my God. Sana. Nice to see her, man. It hasn't been a while. I'm going to message you. We haven't talked in a while. I hope everything is good over there in Europe. All right. Let's get it going because I know people just want to talk about the keys that are falling. So they're probably thinking, which one do I avoid? Which one do I pick up? So let's get it started. First up. Oh, I thought I had it already going. Shoot. I already thought I had
I'm always ready. I'm always ready.
Yeah, well, we all make mistakes. All right. Fallen Keys, Newbieverse production.
Damn.
Let's get it going. All right, guys. First book on the list of Fallen Keys. We've got Fantastic Four 211. I was going to say episode 11. 211. First appearance of Terox the Tamer. Rumors. And I'm not talking about the nightclub in Niagara Falls that used to be around. Hasn't shown up, was supposed to show up, according to a lot of YouTubers, not counting myself. I never said he was showing up. Raw copies are selling, and I didn't put the price because I wanted to go like directly to like today, because you guys know I kind of get my information like 2 weeks in advance, but it's probably like $20 now. It is not where it was at one point. I believe last summer it was about $50 to $60 raw. There are two different versions, right? There's a Mark Jewelers, so be careful. But then again, Mark Jewelers now is hot, so it's really confusing. At one point, we didn't want them. Now we do want them. It's kind of crazy. 2021 CGC 9.6. Now, don't say, newbie, why didn't you get the 9.8 numbers? It's just the fact that I had to get a number from both, right? So 2021 CGC numbers for a 9.6 was $600 Canadian. 2022, so this year, guys, a 9.6, $326 Canadian for a price drop of roughly $140 to $200 Canadian, right? It has dropped a lot. We do know that
Nope.
there's a lot of heralds to Galactus, but at the same time, I think we're still way too far from Galactus anyway. It's encouraging, the fact that a lot of these characters have got super hot. But it's just I think it's personally just too far off. And I do see this book kind of falling back even more, probably in the next 6 to 8 months. What are your thoughts?
Well, I just want to put it out there that 2021, 2022, that you're looking at almost half price of discount. So yeah. Okay. Terax is a neat character. That's me. Neat character, but was the Herald of Galactus. He actually dies. I don't know if you guys
spoiler alert, dude. What are you doing?
In Marvel Point One with the whole Nova thing.
Those people with the slab book, they don't know. They're not going to be. Oh, dude.
No, stop, man. Well, someone's got to tell them. Someone's got to tell them. But 9-0s, because I was actually looking into it. 9-0s in this book float around that $150 mark.
Canadian. Just be clear.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Exactly. And then you're looking now here in 2022, 9.6s at 326. Again, like we said earlier, I think books are starting to stabilize as to where they should be. But yeah, man, I've seen 9.6 is still hitting about 400 here. So 326. Yeah, you're pretty on the ball. I just grab a raw copy. If you don't have it yet, just grab a raw copy on the low, man, if the price is right. I'm sure you can scoop one for about $25. $30 Canadian in a 9-0 candidate, but yeah, I wouldn't be going crazy for it.
Yeah, it's good Fantastic Four stuff, right? But yeah, I just think that there's still going to be a little more drop, and I'm not eager to get this one in my collection. I think I just sold mine not too long ago, two raw copies that I found for nothing. One? So yeah, I found it for $1 or $2, and then somebody was like, "I'll give you $50." I was like, okay, all right. So it is what it is. But I've also been on a different path, right? I've kind of started trying to sell a lot just simply so I can go and get that Tales of Suspense 39. So
I say this all the time with the boys, especially with Kingpins, Pacino, Marvel, all those guys. And we hate paying slab tax. That's what we call it, slab tax. Raw copies, just Cruz just said, there's tons. You can still come across these in the wild raw. So that's what I would be aiming for. I would in no way pay $600 for a 9.6. 2021, 2022 though. I think 2021 comics went bonkers. Majority of them did. Maybe that's a prime example right there. But yeah, man. So try and find them raw if you come across these. Grab them and don't go crazy buying 9.6s.
A lot of people sleep on Fantastic Four from 200 to 300. There's a few, minor keys there that could go up in price very shortly. So just saying. All right, let's move on to another group. But we got Avengers 47 now, guys. Man, I used to tell people all the time, go and get 48. I understand the argument that people make, for Eternals that we just watched, this would have been the book, right? This is the book because we didn't see him as the Black Knight. Yes, he did, talk to the sword or whatever, yada, 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 but we didn't get Black Knight. We just got him. Not Black Knight, movie, just Dane. 2021 CGC 8.5 prices were between $800 and $950 Canadian. While 2022 prices, I got to stop saying 2022. I should just say this year. So this year's 8.5 price is $700 to $800. So this one's a little different because while it has dropped and it is a key, right? The price drop is $150 to $200, but I think people are just still like, okay, which one do I sell? Because it is the character. It's just not what the character becomes, right? We kind of get that Carnage vibe, right? 344 compared to 361, Quasar, same thing. We kind of get that vibe. So I don't know. It's still an early Avengers book as well. So there's that going for it for itself. I do think that this one will spike. So anything, Black Knight or Dane Whitman, I think this is the perfect time to buy because it will go up. He is going to be around for a while. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree on the character being around for a while. I still would go Avengers 48. Don't get me wrong. This is a beautiful book and I would definitely want it, but I just think 48 might be the better one, man. Just because you have him on the cover. I just think it's a better cover. First appearance of him as Black Knight, right? So, like you said, this very fitting with how he played out within the Eternals. I would be going Avengers 48. That's just me. I just think that one's the winner. However, still a good book to have. Now it's dropped not significantly, but I mean to have an early Avengers book of such significance, yeah, man. If you can afford it currently, it's not a bad time to be picking it up.
You know why I never really like this book? It has nothing to do with like Dana versus Black Knight or whatever. It's just like the
Dana.
yellow, like that yellow border. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's just been one of those books I never really liked. And then you add the carrot, like I don't know. It's just been a cover that I've never ever liked ever. And I get Magneto, but even Magneto looks weird. Like he, and I get what they were trying to do with it, but like he looks weird to me. So
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
again, 48 trumps it in my opinion.
Yeah. Where's my 48? Yeah, it's up there. It's back there. So
there you go.
We'll see. All right, let's move on to the only DC book on the list, but we got Batman. First appearance of Ra's al Ghul. Thank God I got that right. Yes, I watched the movie. First movie with Christian Bale. Obviously kicked it off. This one's a little different though, right? Spec wise, I mean, that's kind of dead, but it is one of those iconic Batman covers. Batman villains, have always, stood the test of time. 2021 7.5 price, $1,400 to $1,500 Canadian.
Right.
And this year's price in the same is not even out the gate at four figures. It is under 1,000 at $950. A price drop of $300 to $650, depending on which copy you go and buy. That is a significant drop for this book. But again, I mean, I'm not the biggest DC fan, but I wouldn't mind having this book in my collection. I think it's a really good book to have. Just it depends on why you want the book, right? Are you going based on like spec because that character isn't going to be on the movie? So you kind of have to really pick on why you really want it. I know tons of people want similar to Spider-Man, right? We know a lot of people who want to collect all the villains for Spider-Man. Well, there's the same people that want to do all the villains of Batman, right? So there are multiple reasons why, but yeah, this one's kind of dropped a lot. What are your thoughts here, man?
I think this is again prime example as to what we said earlier. Books took off, especially in 2021, man. Like at that point, books were just going off the rails. Now they're coming back down. So, like we said, a little bit of a correction. But speaking of corrections, you said it is not in the four figures, sir. I challenge you. But in all fairness, I checked before because this is one of the books that I had seen on the list. And I was just curious, right? I know you prepare these slides, let's say 2-3 weeks in advance. So shout out to Newbie for being so organized because I can tell you kingpins or not. But anyways, Batman 232. I think it's one of those books that it's always going to fluctuate, right? It's a gem in my opinion. But it's going to fluctuate within a fair gap. That makes sense. So the last two sales in a 7.5, they actually are 3 days apart. I think it was within the month of May. I don't recall at 100%. One sold, yes, for $960, but then, like I said, 3 days apart, sold for $1,100. The second copy, Canadian.
Still down though. Still down from where it was. Right?
Exactly. So, like I said, more of a correction. It's within that limbo. I think it's always going to be there, right? It's going to fluctuate within such ranges. But did COVID play a factor in 2021 price? I think so. Who knows? But
yeah,
right now I think it's where it should be. I really think it is. I think that $950, $1,100 range kind of makes sense for such a book. And seeing it come down from $1,500 to that, you guys got to remember, man. In a year's time, that's $400, right? Well, just say $1,500, $1,100. That's $400. Man, you could be buying yourself up a key book at $400. Literally, and a big one at that range. So
yeah, no, it's true. Great cover, great book, great history with it. But yeah, it's one that has fallen. Mr. Sam Rock's in the house, Mr. Vancouver Comic Junkie. I think he's gonna have to change his name from Vancouver Comic Junkie to Mr. Vancouver VHS / Comic Junkie.
Yeah,
Man, he is killing it right now.
I saw that.
I know he's got that, that fire for it. He's killing it right now. He is showing up and finding a lot of those awesome VHS tapes, and it is crazy. It's good to see. He's really enjoying himself collecting these, so I'm kind of happy for him. I'm kind of, always throwing a few not jabs, like good, friendly jabber his way. But yeah, he's killing it right now, as always. Good friend of the show, good friend, outside of comics to Mr. Chris. So if you don't know him, go sub him, go follow him. He says he's going to be doing more shows and more videos, so I'm holding him to it. But he's got killer books coming in unboxing soon, so make sure you guys go check him out.
Yeah, man.
Comic Chef's in the house. What's going on, Chef? How you doing, brother? Mr. Peter, dude. I'm gonna be seeing you on Sunday, man. I'm excited. Can't wait. Mr. Funhouse, what is going on, man? How you doing, man? Swaggle House, what's more valuable, Batman Begins VHS or the Batman book?
What's more precious to you right now is the question, Nobi. I'm curious. The VHS, 100%.
Listen, I'm not, man. I don't know if I want to go down the VHS path, man. I really don't. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I still have a buttload of fucking VHSs. I left them on my parents. My parents, God bless them, because they still hold on to the.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I see. Okay, so let me. Fuck. How do I word this? Like I get that maybe I shouldn't say maybe, but like in 5-10 years, like we are getting more and more away from the old school. Like people look at an iPod now and be like, "What the hell is this?" Right? Like you look at a Blu-ray and people are like, what the hell is this? Or they look at a TV from like 5 years ago and they're like, what the hell is this? Right? We're getting so far and far and far away from where we were in the technological world, where a lot of those things, yes, are going to be worth a lot. Like VHS still sealed in 20 years. I mean, yeah, you could have something, right? It just depends on what it is. Me personally, I'd want the book. I 100% I'd want the book. So watch me in like 2 years be like, newbie VHS, newbie tapes. What's up, guys? And then I just have like a VCR. I heard the beta tapes are lower print.
I went, dude, like I said, at my parents, I found so much shit that like VHSs on my Disney movies, fucking wrestling cassettes, shit I should have never recorded at the age I was on those cassettes. Tons of stuff. I found my dad's pager, bro. A pager. I don't know if,
dude, if that was still in the box, like you could have like $1,000 for that, man.
No way.
I swear to God. RP. So I messaged the guy that was actually doing the show, and he says it's $10 at the door or $10 online. Regardless, you're still gonna have to wait in line. So it is what it is. I'm going there. I'm gonna be there super early with Cruz. Super early, as in like probably like 30-40 minutes before. But yeah, I kind of need to get in, get out. So newsstand VHS. Yeah. Hector's in the house. What's going on, Hector? I still like my old Razor phone, dude.
Oh yeah. Yo, Razor was the shit.
Fuck. I like buying VHS tapes of movies I love for less than $1 at garage sales. They look great together on a shelf and they're cheap. Yeah. Actually, I found Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, and I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan, but I found them sealed and packaged. And I was like, oh, this is sick. Not in the greatest. Like, I'm not going to go and grade them and whatever. And then I was talking to Rocksteady, and actually he gifted me Spider-Man 1 that was sealed. Because he's like, yo, I know you have 2 and 3. Here's number 1. So I have all of those Sony picture goodies. So yeah, all 3 of them are sealed. And I think that's kind of cool. I'm going to be putting them up in my shelf. And yeah, I think it's just a cool piece. Like I've got all the Iron Man DVDs and I just have them there just chilling. So,
well, I don't know if you guys remember, because I see everyone talking about like Motorola Razors and stuff like that. I actually had this Nokia phone, and there's tons of memes about it. But this Nokia phone in high school, dude. I don't know if you hold on. You can see
yeah, I think we all had that phone.
Yo, that shit was a brick, man. I could have thrown it at my best friend in high school, and that shit would have never exploded. Now this phone is weak as hell.
I remember my parents gave me that phone at a surprise birthday party when I was in grade 8. So I would have been like 13 years old. And I remember I was so pissed because they're like, oh, you're going to need one for high school. And they were so happy. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't care. And I remember just like, I would take it. I was probably the only kid. My parents were like, they're like, make sure you take your cell phone with you. I'm like, man, fuck. So like, my mom would force me to take the cell phone. I remember I would have it off. Like, I didn't even care until like I got past high school because like that's how old I am. And then when I graduated high school, it was like, okay, you need a cell phone. Like, you need one, right? So it is what it is. What's going on? Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks.
We are so off track. I love it.
I'm so lost right now. I don't even know what a Razer phone is. Yeah, Sam's young, so he has no idea what a Razer is.
Oh shit.
If I remember correctly, and the last thing I'll say about Razer phones, didn't they make like a Star Wars themed like commercial for it where they're like zoom, 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 or something like that?
I don't know if it was that or it was the Crazer or something.
Something. I remember those phones. Yeah, man. It was just anyway, crazy technology. All right, let's move on to the next book before we start talking about technology from like 1990 and we start talking about a fax machine. Oh man, this one hurts. This one really hurts. But in a good way. First appearance of Adam Warlock, confirmed character, casted, coming soon. We just had a few updates from James Gunn. He just announced that, yeah, this guy's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's happening, no doubt. 2021, a 6.0 CGC sold for $1,300 to $1,500 Canadian. Currently, 6.0s, $600 to $700 Canadian for a price drop of about almost $400 to $500. Now, I will say this. I bought a 5.5 for $300 last year. Beginning of the year, last year, I bought one. Got a really good price from a really good Canadian seller, really good guy. I ended up selling that book as soon as the rumor about this character hit, and I got $1,100. So I made out like a Band-Aid. Then when it was down and nobody was talking about this book, I ended up buying another raw copy, which is still at CGC, which BC you should be getting soon, which you should be sending to me shortly.
Yeah.
Or
that I'm going to just hold on to.
But this, I think, is going to be one of the bigger books in the next 2 to 3 years. And you know what? You know somebody who's been on this book for a very long time? None other than Mr. Vancouver Comic Junkie. He has always been a fan of this book. He's a fan of Adam Warlock. He even went as far to say to me, newbie, I don't believe that this will be a Tales of Suspense 39 caliber book, but he did say that this character and this book could be a very important book in the next 5 to 10 years. And that's true. I mean, Adam Warlock, I think, is going to be a phenomenal character. No way he's one and done. He is going to be around for a long time. I think he's going to be a core part of what they do. And for those reasons, I think this book is going to be a hot book. So I can't wait to get my other copy from CGC back. I made a little bit of profit. I got the book back. You can't complain with that. It worked. The hobby paying for itself. But where are you on this book? Okay, hold on. I think it could be as big as FF52. Oh, okay. I thought he meant 2. I didn't see the 52. So that's pretty massive, man.
I just want to point it out because it's going to tie into what I have to say. So here you wrote first appearance of Adam Warlock. This is the first appearance of him. Hold on. Yes, no, we're going to do this. And we're going to do this together. So first appearance of him is the first cover of him, technically, outside of his cocoon. But Marvel Premiere 1 is technically the first appearance of him as Adam Warlock, right? So
I think this one's going to be the book, though.
I get it. But what I'm saying is I also feel like that's why this book's kind of in limbo right now. Because Chris, like we said, most books are taking a dip post-COVID, and it's fine. Books are stabilizing, getting to where they belong. But I feel like because of, people thinking in their minds, like Thor 165, okay, first appearance of him. But then you hop over to Marvel Premiere 1, where it's Adam Warlock, right? Throw FF67 into the mix too, right?
I don't think that one holds the value. Like, I remember when the argument was, oh, well, might as well get FF66. And it's like, well, wait a minute. That's where I was like, we need to open our books, right? Yeah. Because there's no fucking way. Then 67, probably and arguably one of the ugliest covers of all time. And guys, before you throw rocks at my glass house, just know if this is the first time watching Newbieverse, I am a big Fantastic Four fan, huge Fantastic Four fan. But that is one of the ugliest covers ever. And I like white covers. I like the black covers. I like the red covers. That one was just very bad. Probably one of the worst.
Yeah, no,
And,
100%.
you know, like Vancouver. It is literally, that cover always reminds me of someone sleeping in at a group project and they're like, hey man, like, do you have your part done? Because we present in like 5 minutes. And they're like, oh shit, yeah. I got it here. And they just kind of look at you like, ah, fuck, right? Like, I think that's what it is. The problem with Adam Warlock and G, you kind of hit it on on the nose. The problem with Adam Warlock is there's about 3 or 4 books you could probably go to. It's always been kind of a weird, you know, not controversial, but just it's just like, which one is it, right? Like, we don't have a governing body to be like, it's this one. That's why it gets a little messy with Adam Warlock. So, like Mr. Ryan from Automatic Comics would always say, just grab all of them. However, there's people that can't.
But here's my breakdown, okay? Because I know how people speculate, especially with the MCU. They make that drive the books, right? The MCU is what's driving most of these, you know, books and specs. Literally at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, in the post-credit scene, what does she say? She looks at the cocoon and she says, I'm going to name him Adam. Boom. We skipped him. That's how I see it. We skipped him.
So this is the one.
No, we skipped him. He will be fucking out of that cocoon immediately as Adam Warlock. That's exactly what I understood. So Marvel Premiere 1, to me, is the book to be grabbing, because although people are focused on this, Marvel Premiere 1 is where he becomes Adam Warlock. Here is him. This entire story from 165, 166, that's him with Sif, literally throws her into his bubble or whatever in 166. You're gonna, I don't know. Like, when I look at these books, I still think Marvel Premiere 1 is the one to get. That's all I'm gonna say, and that's it. That's it. And again, I think that's why this book's in limbo, because people are still indecisive, and as we said, there's the price adjustment.
I will say this, because I was looking at obviously these books, right? You know, in anticipation that I will be getting mine shortly, right? Chris, you know, Vancouver Comic Junkie, sorry, because I forget sometimes people may not know, right? But like, Chris is on point when he says, you know, Marvel Presents 1 is literally like super cheap right now. It's probably the cheapest it's ever been. And with a lot of the, you know, a lot of the chatter around this character kind of being a core member for the next 5 to 10 years, I think it's not a bad idea to kind of invest in one of these books, whatever you believe in. I just like this book because I'm going to be getting it back. It basically was a freebie. I made money off of it. The hobby paid for itself, and I'm getting it back. Not to say I won't get a Marvel Premiere 1, but at the same time, like, when he does show up, I think it's going to get very confusing too, because there's no way that like 3 books of the character are just going to be up there in crazy price, right? Like, there is going to be
for sure, dude. Listen, go for both, 100%. Like, literally, I had both in front of me. I remember when I first met you, and again, I say it all the time. I'm so grateful for Chris, because he sent me my first copy of Marvel Premiere 1. And that being said, when we met, we had this discussion. Is, you know, we have Thor 165, where it's first appearance of him, and we have Marvel Premiere 1, where we get Adam Warlock. So we were always having the discussion amongst us which book to get. If you can afford it, man, grab them both, because both are very significant to this character. If you love this character, I think, you know, Thor 165 is definitely the one to pick up, and then definitely get Marvel Premiere 1. But long term, I think Marvel Premiere 1 right now is very affordable, and is probably going to take the bigger jump throughout time, because Adam Warlock within the MCU, I think, is here to stay for a little bit of time, man. So it's how he's going to be addressed within the MCU. I don't think they'll talk, you know, call him. And yeah, man, it's just, that's the route I would go.
Yeah, and Chris is right. All 3 books are just going to go up. We know how this game works, right? It's going to be all 3 books are going to be on a cover price, and, you know, all the top 10s, and that's just how it works, right? But if I will say something right now, and I don't think it's a secret, but I think a lot of people need to hear this, right? I think 2 characters that are very cheap right now, and I think a lot of people are probably going to be like, oh man, why didn't I get it when it was down, is Adam Warlock and Black Knight. I think those two characters are really down right now. Like, I couldn't even give away my Avengers 48 for free right now if I wanted to. I mean, I bet I could, but like those two books are very cheap right now. And once these characters hit, it's just going to be insane. So yeah, Adam Warlock, a character to be messed with. He is going to be like insane when he shows up. And yeah, Black Knight is so cheap. Just to give you guys a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Just a thought, food for thought. And only I know this because mine is a 7.0, but a 7.0 in an Avengers 48, when the rumor was that he was going to show up and then the trailer of Eternal showed up, that book was selling for almost $1,700, Canadian. A 7.0 right now can barely sell itself for $750 Canadian. That's almost $1,000 down.
Mm-hmm.
If you have one, you might as well keep it, because once the character actually shows up as it, it's game over. It's probably going to be back past that $1,500 range. So just remember that. Hit me up after the show for that free transfer. Hey, Brian has been wanting that book for so long. Big shout outs to Brian, man, out there in Edmonton, man. One of the great guys in the community. If you don't know him, he's a great guy. I hope everybody gets a pleasure to meet this guy. This is the guy that you want to have a beer with and just shoot the shit, man. Really good guy. And he's a Rangers fan. So I love the guy. BK. Black Knight will be in Blade movie, and then boom, skyrockets. Yeah. And that's another character, Blade. Nobody's fucking talking about Blade. A little bit. I mean, if you look at his first solo, though, the second book that should be after his first appearance, that thing's dirt cheap now. If you can't buy Tomb of Dracula 10, go and get yourself 2 solos. His first solo, buy 2 of them. You'll make your money back. I guarantee it. All right, next book. We are going G.I. Joe. Now, Chris, Vancouver Comic Junkie, you better be in here right now, because he is one of the biggest G.I. Joe guys I know. He has every issue in 9.8. I think he's missing 1 or 2, actually, so I shouldn't say that. Yeah. But this is probably, I don't know your knowledge of G.I. Joe, B, but this one's probably the biggest, top 3 for sure, top 2, up there, right? G.I. Joe. I mean, Storm Shadow. Movies were brutal, so I think that didn't really help. The last movie that just came out, I think last fall, or no, it was probably this February or something.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I totally even skipped it. I heard so many terrible things about it. I was like, I'll just wait for it to come out on fucking Blu-ray or something, or a live stream, and I haven't even streamed it. I haven't even come across it. I totally even forgot it existed, to be honest.
It was a terrible movie. Terrible movie. But the hype was there. They wanted to sell the fact that, oh my God, we've changed. We don't have Channing Tatum, even though he hated doing this role, and blah, 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 blah. The markability on G.I. Joe's is always going to be there. However, the movie was shit. It was garbage. I haven't even seen it, and I can say that, and people be like, yeah, it was true. Let's look at the prices, though.
Yeah.
2021, a 9.6 was $721. Now, even that was at the low end of 2021. If you look at it right now, start of 2022, right? Again, simply because the movie was coming out, it got to $950. Middle of the pack right now, it's down. So that $840 was about 4 weeks ago. Now it's probably at like $800. I know a buddy of mine that just bought a 9. I think he bought a 9.4 for like, I think like $350 or something, maybe less. I can't remember. But anyway, it has changed. Not as big, right? $60 to $130, but still dropped. And this is probably one of the biggest G.I. Joe keys out there. This is the one that you want. However, like Chris is saying, Snake Eyes was worse than the scenes in a porno without the porn.
I really think it depends which porn you're watching. Some of these guys are great actors, man. Don't fucking shit.
Yeah, I just watch it for the acting, right? Like
that's all we do, right? We watch that. No, I totally get it, man. Look, first off, about the book, Storm Shadow. If you're a G.I. Joe fan, I mean, it's definitely up there on the books you want to pick up. Do I think it's at a ridiculous price or it's dropping significantly? No, I really think just looking at what you're saying here with the 9.6s, it's pretty much where it belongs. I don't see an issue with it. Is it going down? Hey, great. You can tell just within this chat, there's quite a few people who want to pick it up. But man, fuck, now you guys got me curious for this movie. I totally even forgot it came out, man.
It was bad, dude, but they sold it and they hyped it up like crazy. That was the biggest thing, right? Like,
I
even
remember all the
myself, I
hype.
was like, man, this is gonna be nuts. This is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be what turns G.I. Joe around.
Yeah.
And it didn't. I didn't even see it, but like nobody in the chat is like, no, man, it's a great movie. You should just fast forward to like 2 minutes. You know, like nobody in the chat has said that. Nobody yet. And even when I talk about this movie, nobody's ever corrected me. I'm just like, man, it was shit. And I haven't even seen the movie, but nobody's ever corrected me. They're like, yeah, man, yeah, you're right. So like that speaks for itself, man. I don't know. What
When did it come out, man?
I think it came out at the beginning of the year. I think like February or March, I want to say.
Fuck, man.
This
Okay,
movie won an
I gotta go
Oscar.
back to watch this, man. I gotta go back. Like I'm making sure I don't forget to go back on this one. Yo, speaking of G.I. Joe books though, a lot of those number ones, man. I keep seeing them a lot lately. I don't know if people are offloading them purposely, but it's constantly in front of me. G.I.
G.I.
Joe
Joe
1.
1?
Yeah, I like to the point where I want to grab one, like just because it's always in front of me.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. All right, let's get off the G.I. Joe train and let's go into a classic battle, which in the spec world, I mean, okay. You know, like we always look at, you know, I know as a Fantastic Four fan, there's the, you know, Thing versus Namor, Thing versus Hulk. Like those are classic, you know, battles. Here we have the classic battle between Thor and Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer, a very popular character. Thor, right at the forefront, right, with movie upcoming event. Who knows? I mean, Silver Surfer could drop at any point. Will Thor be around? Who knows? Current raw price, I couldn't tell you. I just got lazy on this one. I can't even lie. I got lazy. I can't even bullshit a price. So if anybody in the chat wants to give me a price, go ahead. Here's what I'll say.
Fucking raw.
Yeah, raw. I don't know what they go for, but here's what I do know. Last year, a 4.0 was basically $985, $1,000. What I know now is a 4.5, so not equal, better, is selling for $900. So it's a price drop of about $60 to $150, let's say $200 for this book. Again, it's not like spec worthy. It depends. I mean, it's a classic cover. It's a classic.
Honestly, I'm not cutting you off. Yeah, fuck spec on this book. It's
yeah, like it's got nothing to do with spec or investment. It's just like it's a classic cover with two great characters. It's the first time they fight, and that's what it is, right? So,
oh yeah,
you know, I'm just trying to get to the point of like the money. If like people are like, oh, should I invest in this, right? Because like obviously, if you're a Silver Surfer fan, if you're a Thor fan, you should have this one, right? It's just an iconic book.
Dude, it's already stood the test of time, and I think it's going to continue to stand the test of time. Not only, okay, yeah, Silver Surfer, Thor, I get the emphasis, but it's just a fucking classic cover. That's the way I see it. I even put it up there as one of the most iconic that Marvel's dropped. I think it's dude, it's such a beautiful cover. That alone is worth every penny, man. Again, investment wise, I don't see it as anything spec related. I would love it if Silver Surfer jumped into the MCU. We still have Chris Hemsworth playing Thor, and
but for how long? For how long?
No, but how awesome would it be in the MCU if we get this exact fucking scene? You know what I mean? This exact image. You see Silver Surfer coming in, Thor winding up. It would just be incredible. I wish to see that. Who knows? Who knows? But all speculation aside, one of the best covers. Honestly, I love it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said. Yeah. And sometimes you do have to put spec aside, but like just for the show premise is what I was trying to get at, is
right.
That I was finding a tough time to like kind of like, even though I like spec and I like the investing of it, like I was having a tough time just kind of coming up with like, how am I selling this to those people? Because there are a few people that like strictly watch or listen to the show just because of that. And for this one, it's like, I got nothing for you because like this is an iconic cover. This is a great cover. Who wouldn't want to own it, right? For me personally, though, for what I'm trying to collect right now, though, and BC, you know this, is I look at that price and I'm like, oof, I'm almost at an Iron Man 55 at that point, or I'm at a FF Annual 2 or FF 52. Like I do that compare game when we get up to like certain price points. And this one, for me, I'm picking all those books before I pick this one, just simply because those ones mean more to me, if that makes sense.
No, but like I said, if we sat down together, you, myself, even Chris here, who's in the chat, we hopped on Spec Tales podcast early in the year. We said which Grail books we want. I'm gonna be honest with you, as
You
I'm
didn't put this one.
sorry, no.
Oh,
As I'm going through, picking the books I wanted on my Grails, I realized, at that point, what books I really want in my PC, and I've adapted that mindset. A lot of people get caught up in the FOMO, they get caught up in, speculation and stuff like that, and you're burning so much money where you just fucking end up wanting to even drop the hobby at some points.
yeah.
Chris said a comment here earlier that a book like this is exactly why we collect and why we do what we do. This right here is a book that I would put my money towards, and I'd be proud as hell to show off if somebody walks through my door and I'm showing them my collection, like, dude, look at this, man, this fucking book right here. That's the feeling, man. That's why we collect and just collect what you like, man. This is a book that you collect just because it's something you enjoy. Classic art. I think it's one of the best. And I want to say the name, but I always butcher it. Buscema is how I say it. But yeah, man, it's you can't go wrong with this book.
I know what you guys are talking about, and I'm gonna throw another book out there. FF 5050. And again, I mean, I am a Fantastic Four fan, so it's no surprise. But that book, like, I never cared for it. And guys, I'm a Silver Surfer fan. Like, Silver Surfer's in my top 3 favorite characters of all time. Okay. But I just never really knew that I wanted that book until it was like in front of me, like a really high grade. I think I had like a 7.5 in front of me at one point last year. And I was just like, wow, I would really like to have this. But then I start doing the whole, why would I start this at 50? Like, I need to go 48, 49, 50 or 48, 50. Like, I can't just start at 50 and then not, so we'll see. But yeah, this is a great cover to have, one of the best ones. It just kind of loses out for me when I start thinking about the other books that I want, and that's kind of sometimes the shame in it. Not to say that I wouldn't want this book. It's just like, if I bought this book for that price point, I'd always be saying to myself, oh, I could have had FF 52. Oh, I could have had Iron Man 55.
Yeah, but at that point, this book does not hit home for you the way it would someone else. You see,
yeah,
myself and some of the other people here in this chat are saying, top 10 covers, best cover in my opinion. For myself as well, man. So this is a book that trumps a lot of the other books that I'd be wanting within my PC. Even you guys know I'm a huge ASM fan, man. I've been putting ASM on the back burner for many other books, and I would definitely pick this up over some even ASM keys if that's what it comes down to. I think it's one of those.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Shock. All right. Let's get into the second book. This one just keeps going down. And I think the last time we did like a show like this, it was on here. And I kind of just left the slide as it is. So if you go and watch the first time we did this show, you'll see that the same information except the numbers. So let's take a look. If you don't know what this is, I think you are, I don't know where you are, but you shouldn't be here. But thank you. But the movie tanked to some people. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed the movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of did enjoy the movie.
You see, you enjoyed the movie. We were just saying the acting was great. The sex scene, it was a porno, right? So technically, this falls into the same category. That's my opinion. It's my opinion.
There are so many good things that I could say about this book. So many.
Oh yeah.
Especially from the spec, investing, all that. But let's take a look at the facts right now first. Returning characters, second, third, fourth movies coming. Obviously, there's no way that they just kind of bring this group and they're not going to be around. A lot of these characters might be in crossovers and things like that. So Eternals 1 is still always going to be, good. Jack Kirby love. In 2021, 9/8 were selling for $3,800. And I know Chris is in here. He has a few 9/8s, but we all know what happened with Eternals. We were all hyped as shit for this book. I think one copy even reached like $4,100 or $4,300 Canadian selling, but I can't confirm that right now. I just remember seeing 3,800. Now, let's fast track to now. 9/8s right now are barely holding at $1,000, a price drop of basically $1,500 to $2,000 Canadian. Now, newsstand editions though of this book in 9/8 are selling for $3,000 Canadian, which You kind of expect it, right? Just lower print run, obviously, in those newsstands, of course, and 9.8, super hard to find. The thing that I will say, and I've always said about this book, is the fact that all the characters are not first appearance. All the characters are not in a first appearance in this book. And I think that's what always has hurt this book. I think it's the one factor that's really hurt this book, because the other characters show up in, I think, 2, 3, 7, 9, and 11 or something like that. So it's just difficult.
Yep.
Would I entertain this book? I'm currently actually looking for this book in a 9.8. And I've said that a few times. And I've had people message me like, oh, I found a 9.2 for you. And I'm like, yeah, I just think that a 9.8 at this point, if I could get one at a really good price, I think by the time the movie number 2 comes out, I think a lot of more people are going to be excited for the Eternals. And again, low expectations. Look at Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, all these shows that I think are just not going to do, everyone thinks they're not going to do well. I think Eternals 2 is going to go under the radar, and it's just going to blow people's minds out. So I do think that there's money to be made in this one for sure. The fact that it's already reached at one point in time almost $4,000 Canadian in a 9.8 leads me to think that it possibly could go back again. I've always been a believer in that. If a book has reached a certain point, it doesn't necessarily mean it can never reach or get close to that number again. Eternals is everywhere. So BC, there's no shortage of them. That's why I have to keep myself focused on 9.8 for this.
Dude, if you are not already trying to buy this up, you're sleeping. And I'm hey, there he is, hype. But you're sleeping, dude. Eternals has dropped so heavily, like you said, since it's come out the gate. But with everything that took place, MCU related, I get it. People were not satisfied with the movie, so this impacted the book. I'm telling you, I really feel in my gut that this entire Eternal stuff we got within the MCU, in time, people will appreciate the Eternals of how everything plays out now within the MCU in the current phase that we're in and moving forward. I think that people will come back to that Eternals movie and be like, oh, okay, this is why. You know what I mean? Like, I just think this is a very underappreciated book, an undervalued book. Eternals 1, Eternals 3, I'd be picking up as well, because a lot of emphasis is put on Cersei. Clearly, at the end of that movie, it was made clear that, she's very important within the Eternals. So that's also another book I'd be picking up. But Eternals 1, so undervalued right now that I just think that it's incredible how the film managed to ruin. Hold on. Yeah, 100%. But like I said, there's so many important things within the Eternals, the group, this core, within the MCU. Like I said, as everything's starting to play out now, I really think we're gonna come back to Eternals and be like, man, we should have definitely stocked up. Don't forget, man, Arishem said he's coming back to judge. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, and okay, here's where I was gonna go with this. And BC, we have had this conversation because you actually own the book that I'm about to say. But Miss Marvel, everybody was like, oh my God, man, she's coming. It's going to be like Miles. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Trailer drops. Everyone who was a male over the age of 40, the fuck is this? And then everybody tried to sell the books, right? Because everybody was like, I'm not going to watch this. Fuck this, blah, 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 blah. The show is on right now. And what's everybody doing? Trying to buy that book back. And I'm not believing this like, oh, it's the lowest viewership or whatever. No, you guys are just inviting yourselves over to other people's houses and you guys are watching them in groups. That's it, man. Because it's a good show. So,
dude, I gladly sold the book. It helped me get my Grail for 100%. The year.
But what I'm saying is, even when a trailer tanked, right? We didn't even have to wait for the movie. Like, people, when Eternals came out, loved the trailer. They're like, oh my God, the movie was the part that they didn't like. The trailer for Miss Marvel, they didn't like. And then some people are saying, well, you know what? I didn't really like the show. So, okay. But people are still chasing it. People are still wanting it. And you hear a lot of people now saying, like, this Camila book, the point one, is a hold for long term. And I think that's what people are going to be doing once Eternal 2 or any Eternal show up, is people are going to be chasing this book again. And guess what? yes, while there's so many of them and they're so cheap right now, you're going to run out of opportunities to get one at a really good deal, like insanely good deal. You have to know when to sell. And that's the important part, right? And at the same time, you have to know when to buy. And right now is a perfect opportunity to buy this book. The more we keep going, the more this thing is going to go. Now, I will warn people. There is a possibility. And again, I'm not saying this as a fact or anything like that, but you have to look at it from a grand scheme of things, right? What movies are coming out right now and where are they? Thor, cosmic. A lot of talk with Guardians of the Galaxy, cosmic. The Groot special, cosmic. You kind of have to do, you have to look at like, okay, well, they're going to be talking cosmic, so maybe they drop a hint, or maybe one of them shows up, or maybe there's an end credit, or maybe there's the, like you kind of have to connect. Are they going to show Eternals and Miss Marvel? No, right? Like if they do, great, but I just doubt it. Yeah. You kind of have to look at the grand scheme of things too. You have to look at the big picture. And because everything, seems like it's a great time to buy until a trailer drops, and then you're like, oh shit. So just be thoughtful. That's all.
Yep, 100%, man. I could go on forever about this book, but definitely pick it up, man.
All right. This one was a book that I've been trying to go after for a very long time, and then I was like, man, fuck it. I am not spending $1,000 on this book. But I fell to, I guess, the FOMO of like, oh, she's gonna take over. It's gonna be her. And they're gonna make me, they're gonna make everybody fall in love with this character and this and that. We got her in a movie. Mm-hmm. We got her in Hawkeye. She's sexy as hell, but we're not talking about that. But current CGC prices are just under $700, while last year a 9.8 was about $875. Some reaching $1,000 for a price drop of about $100 to $300, let's say. Price drop. That's pretty big. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts, man? I don't know. Like, she's gonna be returning as Thunderbolts, but like, has she done enough to have her character like kind of up there, or are we just too in love with Scarlet and we just haven't, maybe it's just been a quick transition to this character?
No, I actually I forget her name, but the actress who played Yelena just fucking knocked it out of the park.
Something I think Pugh, right? Pugh.
Yeah. Pugh, yeah. I don't think people thought they would get so attached to the character so quickly. Black Widow, and a lot of people had their opinions about the movie on how it was whatever it was. They were not fans of like how Taskmaster was portrayed. But Yelena stole the show, man. That movie was a passing of the torch at 100%. And I really put a lot of, faith into her character. I think she's going to be incredible within the MCU moving forward. If, she is a member of the Thunderbolts, which it seems pretty much inevitable at this point. It's going to happen. Man, I think she's going to steal the show. I really think she is. She's so snarky and so just well casted for the role. I really enjoy her within the MCU. Now, again, another example of how the MCU drives books. I do think, unfortunately, the book, you're seeing a little bit of a drop. Again, I don't know if I want to blame it really on the MCU. Maybe it's just more of a, again, price correction as to what's taking place. Most books are, seeing slight drops, but $100 to $200 drop on such a book, man, I'd be picking it up. I would. I enjoy Yelena. If I'm not mistaken, though, I think there's a variant of this book.
Yeah, it's the Dynamic Forces variant.
Yeah, so I've come across that one several times, pretty much on the low. But yeah, man, definitely a book to be grabbing. I would be grabbing this one. I think Yelena's got quite some time here in the MCU.
It's going to be interesting, man. I was after this book nonstop at the beginning of 2020, but it was just, it was like at a price where I'm like, fuck that. I think at that point, like 9.8s were like, I think like $500. And I was like, no, not yet.
Yeah.
I think the scene with Kate and Yelena eating KD was one of the best Marvel scenes has ever done. Yeah.
No. I'm not gonna lie, it even gave me a craving for KD when I was watching it, man. Like, they just fucking know how to put that fucking
Yeah, you're
product.
probably like high or something.
No, I wasn't, man. I wasn't. It's just my
Okay.
childhood kicked me in the nuts.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go on to the last book and probably my least favorite book. And I know people are going to be like, what? But we love this character. No, you don't. You just want to, it's just human nature for somebody to say, I don't like this. And you to be like, no, I like it. But it's X-Men 101. I've never liked this
Bro,
book. I
what?
have something very controversial to say, and Rocksteady, Rocksteady, and a few other people kind of agree with me. So if I get thrown under the bus, I'm gonna throw these people under the bus. But I was watching the other day the X-Men show from the '90s, and I mean, I don't know, like it was bad. Like just the acting or like just how it seems like there's like 5 stories going on, but the episode's 22 minutes long. Like it was bad. Anyway, I love the show. I grew up on the show. Maybe I just didn't. I had a better image or memory for it back then. But like, yeah, I was watching it now. I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway, I hate this book. I don't like this book. I could care less about Phoenix. Like it's just lame ass character for me. Like lame ass character. Also, fuck Cyclops, man. Like I can't stand Cyclops. 2021 9.6s. Now I will say this book does garner like a lot of money. So like if I had like 10 of them, I'd love it, but I don't, and I would never spend this kind of money on it. But 2021 9.6 prices, $5,000 to $6,000 Canadian. No, thank you. This year, a 9.6 is 4 to 44600 Canadian, meaning it's dropped about $400 to $1,000 Canadian. That seems about right. Maybe a little bit much on like a big key. If you talk to people, like I know a lot of people like this book and then they love Phoenix and yada yada. I just don't get it. And I like redheads, guys. I really do. I just don't understand this book at all, man. So what are your thoughts? Are you on the same boat with me on this character or what?
I giggle every time you say I love redheads because I know your wife's not redhead, so it's just
No,
every
she's
week
blonde.
you're putting emphasis. But
She's
anyways, I'm not with you, dude. Fucking, not that I enjoy the character so much that I'm a huge fucking Phoenix fan. I'm with you on fuck Cyclops. I agree with you. I was never a fan of Cyclops. I thought he was always a little bitch. But the whole Claremont X-Men stuff, I can never shit on any of it. I get it that maybe the cover doesn't do it for you. I thought you would enjoy it more because Cyclops looks miserable. But I don't know, man. I can never ever dump on this book.
Can I stop you for 1 second, BC? Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
One of my favorite movies,
It's Dodgeball.
like, is what?
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball is one of my favorite movies, but Jason Bateman plays a really good character in that movie. But like, this is one of my favorite lines because they're like, "Oh, and it looks like the average Joes are gonna be forfeiting," and then like Jason Bateman's character, ooh, bold statement, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off, right? Like, it's just one of those stupid but hilarious lines. I always laugh when I see it. So thank you for that, Flash, because that yeah, that's hilarious. But anyway, take it away, BC.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, the only thing I'm gonna say about this book having such a drop, again, this is really gonna come down to what I do feel is just price correction, man. From 2021, books went bananas in 2021. We said this out the gate on the show today, but looking at 9.6s, 2021, 2022, right here, going from your numbers, you're saying price drop between $400 to $1,000. Now, $1,000, you could go get yourself that Eternals 198. You know what I mean? So it's a huge drop. I just think it's a correction. I would wait it out. I wouldn't be jumping on such a book. Yes, Dan, I saw your comment. I do agree that people should be picking up the Claremont runs, but Jesus Lord, they are goddamn expensive, man. They're getting up there and they just keep climbing, man. It's tough to get, man.
Yeah, I will. Chris is saying I have an 8.5 white pager. Not to be mistaken with pagers, because we were talking about pagers early on, right? So if you message him like, "Hey man, I'm looking for your white pager," he might be like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, he would trade it in a heartbeat. I would trade this in a heartbeat. We do, Chris. We do have a friend in common. You got a friend in me, and Mr. Ryan, Automatic Comics, who loves this book. Like he's talked about it a few times. He's been on the show and actually advised people on my show to be like, buy this book. So I don't know. On a mission to complete the Claremont run.
Yes,
I'm not against Claremont. Newsflash, newbie.
he is, and I know he's. If I'm not mistaken, hype. I think you're pretty close. 38 issues to go. Okay, and this book's still there.
I do not hate the
X-Men. Knocking off some big ones, man.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, I don't hate the X-Men. That's just an inside joke between me and Chris. So
liar.
I got 38 issues to go, and unfortunately, this book is still on the watch list. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Ryan is wrong. Well, don't let him know. Don't let him know. But yeah, that completes the show of the Fallen Keys that we were talking. We did this show about a month and a half ago. You know, things happened. We did other shows. We had other things going on. So yeah, we weren't able to do it. I want to do it as like a monthly show. So yeah, be on the lookout for next month for it to be on a show. But always a good time to talk. You know, especially when we talk about, you know, money and books and stuff like that. Because sometimes people don't realize, oh shit, this book has dropped, right? Like everyone's so focused on like what's the next book and like did this price break records and this and that we sometimes forget like, oh shit, this book is actually, you know, on the low. So it's always nice to see, especially for the newer people, right? Don't forget, that's where the name newbie comes from. I'm trying to help the newer people. I do want to say one thing. I did put the poll up. So if you are actually watching, you have an opportunity to put your opinion on what you want. But I did ask at the beginning of the show, and it's still going. I haven't ended it, but are you excited for Miss Marvel episode 3? 56 votes so far during the show. And that's a pretty good number, but 64% agree. They are excited for episode 3 of Miss Marvel. It comes out, if you're on the East Coast, it'll come out at midnight. If you're on the West Coast, I mean, congratulations if you stay up. I just got to get up early, so I got to watch it tomorrow. But what are your thoughts, man? Are you excited for episode 3?
I am, man. Look, it's not the best thing fucking to hit the MCU, but I mean, it's entertaining for what it is. Take it, you know, enjoy it. Just don't get so worked up over the stupidest things. I know I was slightly worked up leading, you know, into the show where they changed her origin story, but I mean, it's working for what they're doing. Let's see. It's pretty evident that it's going to tie to the whole Kree Skrull thing, but we'll see.
Yeah. I like it. I'm going to watch it. I don't care what anybody says. It's totally fine. So it is what it is. I mean, people, you know, bashed me for not liking Moon Knight, and the same people, some of them don't like this one. And it's like, do I go and bash you? No, we just enjoy it. We all have different things that we like. I'm really enjoying the show. I think it's kind of cool. Both episodes so far. I think episode 1 has a 7.5. I think the second episode I gave it a 7.0. It was a little bit more slower than the first one, but yeah, I can't wait. I think this episode is going to be pretty big. Again, 6 episodes. This is the 3rd climax. Just showing off some math there, right? We're at the middle point, so we're there. Vancouver Comic Junkie. We don't have to love everything, you know. There will be another. That's great. Yeah, 100%. I didn't like Moon Knight. I'm liking this one, so I guess there. But like anything, right? No one's going to be batting 1,000. That's just life. BC, before we head off, tell the people where they can find you, what you do, and man, I appreciate you hopping on, dude.
Yo, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
I missed you too. But guys, second you wrap up watching this show of 2 guys in their midlife crisis, and they're only in like their 30s. I think you're in your 30s. We're already going through midlife crises, but once you're done watching this video, hit up the search engine right there. There's like a little search bar at the top, and just write Comic Kingpins. Hit subscribe. We go live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, man, we have our FOC show that takes place Fridays, Saturdays. We also have a bi-weekly show, it seems to be, that's called Show Me Your Hauls. Yes, Show Me Your Hauls. That's just people, open to the whole community. You guys are all more than welcome to come and show off what you're picking up, man. Gives you insight on what everyone's collecting and why. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's a good show. You guys just did your first episode last Thursday, so yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep.
I didn't like your tone, young man, when you read that. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry. I'm working on my indoor voice. Miss Marvel over Cap Marvel, that's for sure. That girl's charming as fuck. Yes, it is. Jason, newbie. I just don't understand why people can't just like what they like and respect 100%, right? That's what I've been saying when the whole Moon Knight thing happened. I didn't like it, but people loved it. That's fine. I wasn't bashing it. Just wasn't for me. That's all I'm saying. Jerome, because we live in a world where everyone has to be right, and you do too, apparently. 100%. And that's unfortunate because we all live in either you live in the States where, you know, the land of the free, or you live in Canada where it's like freedom and, you know, you speak up and people are really quick to like pull you back down and be like, no, you can't, right? You have to like this. It's like,
I purposely, and I'll say it even here with all of you, I purposely started disregarding my personal Facebook, Instagram, and I stick to the Black Crown Comics because, man, that's where I disconnect. You have an opinion anywhere, man, you get destroyed.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you know what? I've got thick skin. I've got 5 sisters. I hated Moon Knight, and I'm okay saying that. If you're a Moon Knight fan, great. You got to see your character, like I've said it. Miss Marvel, you don't like it? Great. I could care less. I don't have her first appearance. I don't have any Miss Marvel books. I'm just liking the show. Low expectations. That's it. While we talk about low expectations, hope everyone had a blast today. It was really cool hanging out and talking keys that were falling. Guys, don't forget Sunday. Unfortunately, I will not have a show. So our new comic book day next week is actually going to be moved to Tuesday. So Tuesday show is going to be the new comic book day show, just simply because it's my birthday. And there's only one day of the year that I care about. That's my birthday, because that's how selfish I am.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't say my birthday, not yours, Dan, not Chris, not Tim, none of us.
No, my birthday, and you know, anybody who knows me will tell you the same thing. That's the one day that I'm like, yep, that's the only day I care about. So it is what it is. With that said, man, any last words before we take off?
Nah, man. Yo, guys, happy new comic book day tomorrow. Go and pick up not the hottest book. Collect what the fuck you like, man. Just enjoy. That's it, baby.
Dan, man, you're making me sweat here. Don't say things that we don't mean, okay? Don't say things that we don't mean. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out, and it's always a great pleasure. Again, guys, message me on Instagram, find me on Instagram, find me on whatnot, YouTube, whatever. But you know, if you ever have any ideas for a show or a topic that you want to talk about, hit me up, let me know. I've got no problem, no ego here. I'd love to that's a reprint. God damn it. I'd love to get feedback. As always, I appreciate it. This is it. This is the last time you guys will see me as a 33-year-old man. No. 34th birthday on Sunday. So next time you guys see me, I'll be 34. Again,
there's a question that we need to address. So, you know, Chris being, you know, a big supporter of this channel. Yeah.
Jesus, Chris. Jesus. This is a kid's show, man. This is, if on the West Coast, this is still like daylight. So
well, happy early birthday, bro.
Thank you. All right, guys. If you're at the show in Toronto, I will see you there from probably 10 to 2. I'm out of there at 2. So hopefully I can meet up and hunt with a few people. How do I look 45? I get like ID'd at the beer store, for God's sakes.
Stop.
All right, gang. Thanks so much. Happy hunting tomorrow. Enjoy New Comic Book Day, Miss Marvel, and I think there's a Star Wars show that's ending tonight or tomorrow. So enjoy that. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No.